Okay. And then I'll share my screen if that's okay.
Yeah, I can make you co-host.
Okay. Sure. I don't know if. Okay, can you see this screen 305?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for letting me, present to you. Like Diane and I spoke a little bit yesterday. It sounds like you have a unique, tight-knit group. So I appreciate the opportunity to go over Order My Gear with you guys. I won't bore you with the whole slideshow, but I think it's good to like have some talking points just on the screen. So just so you have a little feel for who Order My Gear is, we're located in Dallas. There's 226 of us in the corporate headquarters office. Of course, we can work remote now, but about 35 of those are developers. So our system's constantly getting updated, so you wouldn't get a stale platform. We've been in business 13 years, going on 14 years, and service around 3,000 customers in the US and Canada. And then average growth rate for our current accounts are 35 to 40% year after year. Just so you kind of have an idea of our goal. Like when we bring on a new customer, it's to hit the ground running. We have built-in training, so you wouldn't just get a platform and here you go. You'll have a team with you like the whole time. If that makes sense. Let me minimize this. And are all of you familiar with Order My Gear or?
Never learned until Diane mentioned it. Didn't know you were.
Okay. And so what we have done, Order My Gear is a technology company, and we've partnered with a lot of different suppliers. So S&S, Alpha Broder, Sanmar, like Hit Promo, Gemline, just to name a few. So we partnered with them to put their products in our library to make it easy for our customers to go in and build stores and offer an online portal for your customers to hop on and order. Just streamlines the whole group order process, whether it be like you're working with a corporate account and you need the individual employees to go in and pick out their shirt sizes or what they need to order. Or, if you do schools and you're doing fundraisers or any sports teams, we work really well in that space too.
Jamie, with some of those partners, is that where you interface with available inventory or only with some of the partners that you named?
Yes, so we do have inventory with Sanmar, Alpha, Under Armour, and it's live inventory. And that's for your interface. Like your end customer isn't going to see that and it's not going to turn the product off on the storefront. But that just eliminates you when you're like building the store, having to jump back and forth between like the Sanmar site to check inventory while you're building the store. I'll point it out when we actually go in and edit, and then you can see which tabs are available.
Okay.
And we're meant to be a self-service platform, allowing you to create online stores for all your customers. And we want it to be fast. Like we've done everything in our wheelhouse to make it quick. Like you can have template stores with, 20, 30 products. You hit one button to copy it, to replicate it, and it just speeds up our whole store building process. So like on average, if you see, it takes 30 minutes or less to build a store. Like that's our goal for you. And then to make this part of your business scalable.
Jamie, with that that template situation, again, because I know that there's some people on the screen here that we've talked about this before. If Carol had a company store and I wanted to copy her company store, can you address with the group whether that's feasible to go from her playground and my playground?
Yeah, so all we would need is an email confirming from the account that we're copying the store from and putting it in the other one. You would both just have to confirm that you'd give us the consent to do that. And then I'll go ahead and move to the next slide and just go over what I mean when I say like our online stores or our portals. So you'll get access to building unlimited stores for life on our platform. You can fully brand the site for your customer. So you'll be able to upload their banner, have their color scheme. And then you can even hyperlink like the URL that you create and order my gear onto their main website. And we would be the shop now button. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then it produces all the fulfillment reports for you to send on to your decorators or fulfillment partners. So that was the last half of that. But another thing I want to mention, our sites are mobile responsive. So we want to make it not only easy for your team to build stores, but also like your customers to hop on and order. And you can even generate a flyer with a click of a button. And that's the actual online store in PDF format with a little QR code. So if you think like you're in a restaurant and like that's a thing now, you just scan the menu with the QR code and it pulls it up on your browser. That's what the flyer would do for the store. So like it makes it really easy for your customer to grab their phone, scan it, check out on their mobile device and be on their way.
Jamie, how much have you seen, like in terms of percentages of sales, where we've shifted from traditional desktop ordering to mobile ordering?
It was over half of the orders last year were on a mobile device.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much faster and easier. And we even have like built-in communication tools. So you'd upload a list of 500 emails, turn that feature on, and this just specific group of customers are going to get several reminder emails that their store is open, and then they can just click on their email on their phone and order too. So it makes it seamless. And it should be able to open some doors for fundraising. I mean, not necessarily just the typical, you think spiritware fundraising or teams, but we've seen like community fundraising for restaurants or musicians, benefits. Like you can really run any order on our site, even if it's one t-shirt that you want to blast out to the community. This would give you the tool to facilitate that.
Can you give some examples of how it's been used for fundraisers?
Oh, sure. So last year, when the world came to a screeching halt, we've had one of our customers out east. They went around to their local like restaurants, bars, musicians, like in their area. They partnered with the local news, and they actually had a community fundraising store to help out the businesses that have shut down. And within a 2-week span, they were able to raise $70,000. And that was help from the local news. Like they definitely pushed it, but they were gracious enough to let us share that with all of our customers. So we did webinars on how to replicate that. And I actually worked with a woman from like rural Minnesota, and she didn't think that it was going to be possible, but she made $13,000 in 2 weeks. She did partner with the local news, so that helped. But you can just see like we're trying to like share success stories across the platform and use it as networking, kind of like you are with your group that you're doing now. So I think that that's great. Does that all make sense?
Kind of.
Sure.
Do you also allow for non-promotional products to be put into the stores?
You can add your own custom products. Is there a specific type that you have in mind?
We have a local artist who is contemplating doing a store
Okay.
with their products. And I basically told her that I sent her to Etsy, but I thought maybe you did
Oh,
something that would help her.
yeah. So what you could do, you would be able to build her own custom site, and it would still fall under your umbrella. And when I say that, it's like one bank account tied to your Order My Gear account. So all the funds flow into one bank account. And then you would just deposit the amount that she raised in fundraising to her. So whether that be you write her a check or do direct deposit or Venmo.
Carol, to expand on that a little bit, in the link that I sent yesterday morning, reminding everyone about today's meeting, there was a link that Jamie shared that ordermygear.com/sample-stores. And in there, I just happened to hit the fundraising store because you asked about that one. And in there, you'll see that there's, Jamie, if you're pulling it up, thank you.
Yes.
There's like, I hit one and it's like teacher appreciation under their fundraising tab, and had cute gift boxes and garden kits and teachers kits and things that we don't typically see in our marketplace.
Oh, this one.
Oh, I think I hit, yeah, but I hit a different one. I'm sorry. You're right, Jamie. Yeah, the event one. So that's not stuff we normally see.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to build anything. Like I even did a bake sale. This was pre-COVID. So this was for a local high school class. They baked cakes and pies and just uploaded pictures here and sent that out into the community and did like a bake sale online.
Hmm.
So people can really get really creative and we can handle it because you can create your own custom products.
So those were like one at a time. Once it's sold, it's gone type thing.
Well, they were just fulfilling after. So if they
Okay. It was just like,
20 chocolate pies, they would have baked 20, sent it out. I thought it was creative. I'd never seen that before on our site.
So it sounds like it became a nice venue for all the orders to populate or into one place where a report can be easily generated to then go fulfill that.
Exactly. Because we're making it easier for your customers too to get on an order, but then we're also making it easier for you. So you don't have to get emails, phone calls, and try and compile all the orders.
Right.
And lo and behold, you're always miss one or miscount, you know how it is, or get interrupted while you're totaling it up. And it just helps save a lot of time.
Okay.
And if your customer is the one that's used to tallying it up, it's a huge convenience for them to not have to. But I can scroll down so you can see everything that's on there. And you have the ability to create your own custom categories. So you have the teacher kits.
can you run through how it works, like how an order works on something like this? Just to kind of see it.
Oh, sure, just to click on it. And yeah, so this would be an actual site. The end user just clicks on the image that they like, and all of these even enlarge again, so they get a nice view of the logo. But you have full control on the pricing, the colors you want to offer, shipping. That's all of the parameters you guys get to set.
What about inventory issues?
And that is across the board. We've partnered with Sanmar and Alpha to make it easier for you to have it under one umbrella to check, but ultimately I would think that you would probably just check with the vendor before you launch the site, just to make sure that there's enough in stock. And what some people are doing, they're running it for like a week or 2 week duration. And then that way, just in hopes that like that supply is still going to be there when they order, and it's more likely, there's 1,000, sure.
So suppose somebody actually buys a certain amount of inventory and they want to sell it until it sells out. Like they bought 500 shirts or 100 shirts or whatever,
Mhm.
and they want to sell it on a store, but as soon as, like, if you're out of stock, it just goes away. Can you do that? Or
Yes. Oh, here we go. Now I can see. We have what's called quantity limits, and we can turn those on in the back end of the store. And then that keeps track of the inventory that you have in stock. You have 2 different options. You can have that item, size, color turn off when it's sold out. Or you can have it sent you a notification, hey, I need to order more of this. Let's keep it on the store, but I know on the back end, I need to go order some more.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry to be such a
Oh,
question.
no, I want to answer your questions. But then as far as checkout, I'm going to pick a different store because this doesn't have very many options. I'm going to go back to like our company store. So you can see that we do have a minimum order that you can turn on. So like if, you wouldn't sell like 1 book or 1 pen, if you were doing like bulk orders, you can set the minimum. And we can add that to the cart. And you can add, we've partnered with TaxJar, so it'll automatically calculate sales tax for you. And then you also have the option to add like a line item for handling or processing whatever you might want to put on the store, but you can also roll that into the price. So again, that's all up to you. And then we do have a little toggle that turns on right before they go to checkout that says, hey, customers are also buying this to help boost cart totals. But then on this example, we're automatically going to calculate or capture email, phone, name, but you can add any other option. Like if you're going to ship by department or group by department, you can make these mandatory fields, and it can even be a mandatory drop down. And there's no limit on how many, because I know sometimes corporate standards, they need to, cross their T's and dot their I's. This gives you a way to do that. And
Amy,
then,
if you, in that example that you just gave with the shipping, can you have it where, and I'm trying to think of a real life scenario. Let's just say it was a high school and you had the choice then of either like ship it to the high school because you go there or your kid goes there. But if you're an alum and you live in a completely different state, you still might want to order from this site. Is there a way to easily do that where it's either going to the high school for like a bulk delivery and maybe you pay no shipping versus if it's shipped to an individual address?
yes, so we can build that in. We can have it where they choose ship to home, it's this amount, or free pickup at the school or at a different location.
Okay. So when you actually mentioned you have a large number of staff members, with that example right there, is that too complicated where we can't do it on our own and we really do need your team support to set up a scenario like that?
Like once you're through training, like usually training lasts the first 90 days and you just book it with your Jumpstart trainer.
Okay.
But once you're through it, some people, it's one store and they're like, hey, I've got this. We just want to extend it for that period of time to make sure, you feel comfortable and know how to do the reports when the store closes or it's time to pull the writ.
So after 90 days, do you pay then for training?
No, like if it takes longer than that, they'll help you. It's just on average, it's 90 days.
Okay.
Yeah. And all of that's included. Like there's no upcharge for support.
Okay.
Or training. And then we do offer gift codes and coupons, and that would just be applied here at checkout. And it would deduct from the total. The difference,
Is that where, like in the example we were talking about at the very beginning of this conversation, again, going back to the library client, if the library client says, okay, staff members, you have $50 per associate, or like maybe those who've been here 5 years or less get $50. Those who have been here for more than 5 years get $100. Is that where this would come into play here?
yep. And we would set that up on the store when we edit it. But yeah, the gift cards would be, if everybody gets $50 and there's 20 people in the group, we would just plug in 50, put in the number 20. And if you had the 20 emails, you could literally copy and paste them from an Excel sheet, hit create. And then the link, the store link is going to be sent to those customers, as well as their redeemable coupon code. And it's a 16-digit number, and I'll show you where that is. And you just plug it in and apply. And if they only ordered $20 worth of stuff and they had a $50 gift card, it would show that they had $30 left when they come back in. And then if they spent $60 the next time, it would take that $30 off, and then they would just charge their credit card for the remaining amount. And then you'll have all the reporting on the back end that shows these are the gift cards and the amounts used. This is what you need to bill to the corporate side. And then you would have already gotten the credit card deposit into your bank account.
And is there a way to set this up where we can say only these email addresses are allowed to order?
Yes. So when we set up the store, there's a place to put in the email, like ending that you want it to accept. And then, so if it's there, everybody's a part of, I'll just use Order My Gear. All of our emails are ordermygear.com. We would plug that into the store, and then nobody that didn't have an Order My Gear email would be able to order. And you could do that with your client.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm. And we even have a place where you can put a sale code on the store. So then that means like it's like a passcode. So the customer would have to plug that in order to open up the portal. And we really only see that like if you as a distributor wanted to have 20 different client stores on your homepage with the shop now, and you didn't want other people comparing prices, this would give you a way to do it. And then you would direct all your customers to your main website. They key in that passcode, and then it opens up to their ordering window. We don't see that a ton. We see that more like on the team dealer side, but that's available to you too.
Okay. So if you give preferred pricing to some clients for whatever reason, that's when you're using these sale codes perhaps.
Yeah, like if it's a bigger group and then you've set your minimum quantities differently than you did on a different group with a different number of people, like that's just kind of protects you with like questions on why is their pricing different?
Perfect. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Any more questions on the storefront before we actually like go into Order My Gear dashboard and I show you how to add a product? So this is where you'll be when you log in. And it's nice, there's sales for the past week. We've been slacking, we've got 0. And then from the previous years, it'll show you. You have multiple sales reps in your company. They can all have their own user login, and then their designated stores fall under them. And it's just a quick filter for all sales reps to pull up their own stores. And then it'll also help with maybe projections for the next year. You can run the numbers really easily. And all of like your open, turned on running stores are on this page, and then you can easily see how much they're bringing in. Your top toolbar will remain the same no matter where you are in the platform. And if you ever need to get back to the dashboard page, you just hit the OMG and it takes you right back here. One thing I really love is this quick search. So you can search by store. And you can also search by a customer's name. So they don't have to know this big long order number. You can literally just type in their name. And you can have the ability to edit their order by line item, and then all your reports are reflective. But just on the store level, each site, like this is all going to look the same. I'm just going to go ahead and minimize. We're on the overview page now. We can click on the URL and see what the end user saw. From here, we can go in and edit the store, as well as pull all the fulfillment reports. So I'm just going to go in and order, like go in order of this and just go in and edit. And as you can see, it's templated fields. So like when you actually create a store, it's just going to open up to this general template, and you just fill in the organization, the group. Anybody you've built a store in the past will appear in your dropdown, so you don't have to retype it every time. And then these are just linked to reporting, so you can leverage the data. That's why we broke it up that way. So you can run the numbers and then use this as part of your business model for projections for the next year. The store name is what the end user is actually going to see, like on top of at the top of the link. And then this is where we plug in our URL. And then this is where you would plug in that email if you only had like authorized email domains.
Jamie, that direct access URL, I'm trying to follow this one here. So like you have Fit Apparel, is this can Order My Gear just make up anything in there, or is this where we go to like GoDaddy or wherever and then we have to register that domain name in some way?
Okay. Well, and with us, so if we click on this link, we wouldn't want this to necessarily be their main web page, but if
Right.
they've already went to GoDaddy and created their own web page, when they go in and edit GoDaddy, you just copy this and then paste it on the back end, and it would be the Shop Now icon. So then you could direct customers to the GoDaddy domain and say, hey, there's a Shop Now button. And when they click on it, it would open up to the store. And then that way, you have all the fulfillment reports.
So they're probably in real life, like let's say fitapparel.com, but now you've with your shop part, you've made it the fitapparel.itemorder.com.
Yeah. And then that itemorder.com is like housed under us. So then
Got
that's
it.
how we get the data. Mhm.
Got it. Okay. Just like Sage, I think. Okay.
But if we go back in, and I won't go through like everything. The only other thing I'm going to point out on this page is just a calendar you click on to automatically open and close the site. If it's an indefinite store, you can leave it on indefinitely. But if you're going to do like run it for 2 weeks, you won't have to remember to set a reminder to go in and turn it off. It'll automatically do that and then send you an email reminder. Hey, your store closed Sunday night at midnight. And even customizing the stores, just there, it's a template. So it gives you the dimensions of how big the logo needs to be. I'll scroll down a little bit. Same with the banner, and that's what's running on the top of the site. Taxes and fees, like I mentioned, we partnered with TaxJar. So you'll just put in where you have your physical location for your business. And then it's handy if you're working for customers like in-state and out-of-state, because tax jar is up, keeps up on all the tax regulations, so you don't have to. And then it'll calculate correctly. And then the products, the fun part, this store already has quite a few products on there. If you wanted to add your own custom like gift basket, or like what we talked about and then the teacher example, you would just hit create and then plug in the fields. And again, we'll provide all training to you. So this is just meant to be a brief overview. And we also offer store building as a service. If you're like, hey, I just don't want to mess with it, we do have a team in-house that does it. And I can go over the charge, like what we charge to do that at the end. But to actually add a product to the store, we just type in like Gildan 2000. We click on the image or the little description. And it's going to be added at the end. So this Gildan 2000, it's highlighted in blue. And then this is every single thing about that product. And you have full control what shows to your customer. Like if you're worried about inventory, you can white label the shirt and just put cotton tee. The Gildan 2000 is only going to show for your end on the reporting. And then
So
this is
Jamie, that search bar that you had talked about, that was really helpful. So if we wanted to know which stores had the Gildan 2000 in it, we can just go in our search bar and that would easily show which ones have that.
The search bar is mainly for like pulling out customers' orders and the stores as a whole.
Okay, but not individual items in there.
Yeah, we do have other reporting like that under manage. So like orders and products, but we can go over that like separately, where you can search, what products have been ordered across the stores.
I guess what I'm thinking is if we knew that there was like a huge inventory concern, which obviously that's a huge conversation nowadays, right? Where we're finding that what used to always be in stock, like suddenly is not. If I wanted to know which stores I had that particular product in, there is a way to do that in your system?
Because you can look at ordered products and order, so it'd be under ordered products.
Okay.
Search by SKU. And then it would just go down.
Okay.
Yep. And we have a place on the reporting. It would be on the store level though, where you can email everybody that ordered the Gildan 2000 and say, hey, it's back ordered or it's out of stock. I'm going to replace it with this item number.
Perfect.
So that's available too. But again, like you get to set all your pricing. The base price is really what you need on the site because that's going to show to the end user. The retail price is just cosmetic purposes. It'll cross that out and say, hey, look, you saved 15%. And we had that on one of the example stores. And then your cost, you can plug that in at any time and run our margin report if you wish. And then as far as like fundraising, if you do like a fundraiser or benefit, we put it in a different column and then that's how our reporting pulls it. So the end user is going to pay $15 for this shirt. And then you're going to know 5 of it's going to go back to that group. Any questions on this before we go to inventory and the other tabs?
If I could circle back to the, when you were talking about sales tags, I guess what I'm thinking is that you probably do a tremendous amount of volume in the areas of schools. And with schools, we often think of them as being not-for-profit. But if, say, like a parent of of a high school kid or whatever wants to order something, I guess I'm trying to like think through how that billing situation would have to work. It's almost like, I imagine that technically the parent ought to be paying sales tax. However, if the school actually paid the bill, that they could go under their tax exempt status.
Yeah, so again, you'd want to like confirm with your CPA, but I have set up stores where we've turned the credit card processing off and ran it like the school was buying it, but it was just more of like an order collector. And then the parents paid the school and the school paid the customer. But we're flexible enough. You can have sales tax, you can not have sales tax, you can do a credit card, you cannot, but that's really probably rules that you would check with an accountant.
Okay. Yeah, and I would think that most schools would rather the parents just pay it with a credit card, and maybe that's just what it is. Like you just do the sales tax thing and that's it.
Yeah, because nobody wants to go around and like try and collect money after it's ordered.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then like the inventory, you can check where you're going to get it from. Just so you have a little heads up. And then the sizes and options, there's 61 colors. We don't want to offer that many. So you can easily deselect all and go on and turn on the ones that you want to offer. Same with sizes. You can turn sizes off and then add up charges. So. And then as far as like adding their logo, it's going to actually pull from the computer, your computer, and it'll take, as long as it has a transparent background, you're good. For these one color logos, you can change the color right in our platform and then resize it.
Okay.
And then copy, save, and then paste it on the next shirt. So. Any
That's
questions?
pretty slick.
We tried to take, we've heard a lot of the pain points. So as we've evolved, we're like, okay, how can we make it easier?
Yeah, she sure makes it look easy.
Well, Ambria will make it easy to you too. She's the Jumpstart trainer. And since we've talked about gift cards, I do want to show you this. So we already have like a whole bunch on this store, but if you were going to add it, this is where you would plug in the dollar amount, how many you need, and then add in the email addresses and hit create. And then it goes to those clients as soon as you hit create, and it'll have the store link on there so they can just in one email click on it, copy and paste that 16-digit code, which here is the example.
So each client will get their own individual email with that client, with that coupon code?
If you use our gift codes, yes. The other option is you just create the codes and then you have your client send them out to the employees. We added this so you could do it as a service to your client, but you can also do it the other way.
Okay.
And like if somebody leaves, like if Luis left, he's no longer a part of that corporation, we could delete his coupon code. On the flip side, if he got employee of the month and they wanted to add some more to it, they could add another $100. And he wouldn't have to remember 2 codes.
So are you going to go over the pricing for these stores, please?
Sure. Yes, I know we're getting to the end of time on our meeting, so I'll go ahead. All right. And I'll email the pricing so you guys have it, or I'll send it to Diane so you have it.
That's great. She'll forward to the group.
Okay. So how our standard pricing, it's $18.99, and that's a lifetime of unlimited stores and all your training and support. We are offering your group a $300 discount. And we can break it would be $15.99 up into 4 installments over the first 4 months. And then the $300 gift card or discount is good through the end of September. So it gives you a little time to think about it, or if you want to shop around, you can. And then we could even do a separate demo if you had more questions. And then there are no monthly or annual fees. How Order My Gear makes our money is through that 3.95% Order My Gear fee. So basically, you're not being charged if you're not using us. Like if you don't have live stores and real orders coming through, you're not going to have to pay for something you're not using.
So
And
it's 3.95% of what?
I think the easiest way to think of it is like on an item level. So if you have a $10 shirt, you could add in 40 cents and call it a day. Like you've covered your Order My Gear fee.
Do you
And
guys charge that fee on sales tax as well?
It would be the cart total.
Okay,
So yeah,
so really it would be based on a $10 t-shirt and your sales tax is 7%. It's really based on $10.70 then.
and there is a way to add that in. I know it's like, that's just how we do it.
Okay,
It added into the base price, or you could do another line item fee. But like I said, our customers are growing 35 to 40% year after year, just because you're able to take on more clients. And they are essentially paying for convenience.
Jamie, are there ever any options where one doesn't ask for a lifetime setup, but maybe just wants to do a one-time trial and to see how this works?
We don't offer trials anymore. We had in the past. And right now, this is our standard pricing. But we do reward growth. So if you sell 250,000 to 499K on our platform within a year, we will cut you a check for 10% of the Order My Gear fee.
When you say in a year, is that in a calendar year or in a 12-month cycle?
In a 12-month cycle.
Okay,
Same with it just goes up from there. So tier 2 is 20% back. And then our top tier is $1 million plus, and you get 30% back. So. Oops. I know we're coming to the end of our session. Did you have any other questions or want me to go back?
I have a question, Jamie.
Sure.
So does Order My Gear, and I missed the first 4 minutes, so if it was explained in there, I apologize. Does Order My Gear have a way for their stores to send orders to a decorator, or are they only being sent to whoever is collecting the orders for fulfillment? I'm specifically thinking about print-on-demand stores, which there's a lot of that going on out there right now. And I currently have 2 print-on-demand stores. I don't touch the orders. They go directly from the order system to the decorator, and the decorator purchases directly from the apparel warehouse I chose.
Okay. Who are you using for your decorator?
Dubois Textile.
Oh, nice. Okay. So we actually have an export into Dubois, and it is working. I've worked with Jenna and Rob. So yeah, that is a feature that we could turn on in your account. and it's just under sale export. And you would plug in, I believe it's Rob's email, and hit send, and he gets that info. And if you want to schedule a second meeting to go over that, I'd be more than happy to.
So basically your stores could be done print on demand, where order can come from the store and be fulfilled directly through like Dubo. For example, Company Promo Stores has a system set up with Dubo where basically order goes into Dubo's system. A sub account is set up with Sanmar ahead of time. Dubo places the order for the apparel, decorates it, and sends it out.
Yeah, you would still like, it's right now, it's only with Dubo. So like if you're using another fulfillment partner, it wouldn't work this way. But if we're just using Dubo as this example, right now, to my knowledge, you still need to plug in like Rob's email and send him the export, which would provide color, size, quantities, fulfillment
So
report to push it.
So in other words, it's not automatic. It would still have to be a manual transaction on my end to get it to them.
Yep, unless you gave Rob or whoever you're working with, Dubo, like a login to be able to do that. Right now with the customer he's working with on our end, he does have a login to their account,
Okay.
but we're just getting it going and working on it, and they are doing live orders and pushing it through.
Okay, because my store also has items that are inventoried in a warehouse, which are totally unrelated to Dubo. And those orders go directly to that fulfillment warehouse for fulfillment. So do we have the ability to separate where orders are emailed based on the item?
At this time, I'm gonna say no, because we've opened up the export to Dubo's system. You do have like our normal fulfillment reports that you can email, but again, it would be like you having to go in and emailing them to your fulfillment if you didn't give them a login, which I don't know if you would want to.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
You answered my question. So,
Okay,
thank you.
yep.
Jamie, your program seems extremely, from what I can sense, like really heavy in the apparel side. Was that the roots of your company with screen
Yep.
printers and embroiderers?
Yeah, we were, and we still sell to like screen printers, decorators, promotional products distributors, and team dealers. That's our market base.
What percentage of your client base would you say is, where's the distributor hat, promotional products hat?
Actually over half, because like when we actually started collecting the data on what it meant to be a promotional products distributor versus a screen printer, like there are way more distributors than screen printers. Yep.
Interesting.
Mhm.
That in itself is interesting.
Yeah, well, just because like we've worked with people selling to schools or, you know, the different group orders that they didn't actually do the decorating, but they needed a way to facilitate the order.
Jamie, I imagine that a lot of people, by the time they sign on with you, that they've looked at other technology solutions in the marketplace. Can you share with us like what you feel OMG's strongest strengths are, or when people like might say to you, oh my gosh, you guys do this, no one else can do that?
Mhm. From like the overall consensus from like multiple our competitors switching over, the detailed fulfillment reports, which we did run out of time, so I didn't even get to like go through those. But it's not just a master report with all of the information on it. We've gone a step further, like you still have that, but then we have detailed reports that just filters out what you need to order from your suppliers. And then the work order report that gives you the ability to build out a decoration report to send to your decorator, a place to upload the EPS file, put the different dimensions on there, any notes, like it's all under one umbrella. And it even pulls the pictures of the items from the store. And then training, I get tons of great feedback on the training. I think we're the only ones that would like hound you to get training, like, hey, we're here, let's start training. So we're very big and involved with our customers to get them comfortable on the platform. And store building is also like, just type in the number, click on it, and our copy store feature is, I would say, incomparable, because some of our competitors say they copy, but it's only like the store name and a few things. Like ours will even copy upcharges from the products, all of it. So if you, when you are shopping, I would just make sure that you ask, when you say copy, what do you mean by that? Will, you know, is it everything on the store? Is it just this? Just to make sure.
Okay. And then if I were to go ahead and invest in this and sell my company to someone, does that then, is this just one of the assets of the business that travels along with whoever I sell the business to?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Diane, you asked such wonderful questions.
Oh, I'm like an analytical person, Carol.
Yes,
So
you
I'm
are.
a slow processor though. So I'm sure that like the moment we end this call, I'll be like, oh, I should have asked Jamie this as I start thinking through the details of it. But it's really nice to hear, Jamie, that you have a great support team, that you encourage those type of things. So I know not every technology company operates that way.
Mhm.
And Jamie, you are welcome to send any follow-up information to our group. I'm sure there, because of the recording, I'm sure that many of the members will watch it later. And I appreciate your attention to detail on this. It's very good.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed meeting you ladies, and hopefully I'll get to talk to you soon.
Super.
I'm going to stop recording.